DIY or Die, Walker Vapor Group LLC, or any of its associates do not condone nor encourage the use of nicotine, vapor products, or any mood-altering substances without the explicit consent of a physician. The content viewable on this channel is strictly for entertainment purposes only and not meant to be seen as informational or educational. Must be 21 years or older to view these materials.
Silky beat.
You're muted.
Oh my goodness, I was muted as I was talking. Hey guys, it's me, Jennifer, the MIXINVIXENS. Today we have a show for you on milk tart. It's me, Jennifer, and Rin today. So you guys have the low mixers on, the low percentage mixers on today. And we're going to give you guys the best we have. I mean, Alicia, I think she's out of town. And Emily, she's not going to be with us today, is she, guys?
No.
No?
I don't think so.
Okay, that sounds good. Well, we can do this. And I know that my recipe came in really, really good. It's not, I have two recipes I was working on. One is a little bit higher percentage, but the one that I'm actually presenting today is the lower percentage one, because that one gets ready a little bit faster, even though I put on the website that is 21 days steep. I find that at 2 weeks now, it's starting to come together, but I believe that at the end of the 3 to 4 weeks, it's going to be much, much better. What did you guys think about your recipes? Milk tart seems to be one of those that needs to be steeping longer, doesn't it?
I steep mine inadvertently since the 6th. So okay. I don't know. I just assumed it probably would because of what I put in there.
You didn't try it like in between while you were making it, while it was steeping?
No.
No?
Because there's an ingredient that's been my nemesis for years, and I decided to try it, but I was afraid. So I'm like, I'm just going to let it sit as long as humanly possible.
Yeah, I used a couple of those this time. I mean, in mine, I used a little bit of TFA, vanilla custard, and I know that that's one of the ones, and I'll go ahead and apologize up front for the people that taste pepper. I don't taste pepper, so I'm good with that one. And I figured there's some people who don't taste pepper that could enjoy that, and I'm hoping one of you guys didn't use that. I'm betting that JennJarvis didn't use that. So with that said, I think that we should, I think I'll start this week. That way we can get going. We are going to have maybe some in-depth talk about each of our recipes if we get a chance. That way we can explain why we do things the way we do, or how we mix it low percentage and still get plenty of flavor out of it. Let's see. So I'm not sure if my recipe is up yet. Do either one of you guys see it yet? Okay, I see the thumbs up. We see it. So give me 1 second to get myself together. I should have done this beforehand, but, you know, we're also prepared. How do you guys like my police officer hat? Pretty cool, huh?
That's sexy.
Sexy.
You got the handcuffs. You got the handcuffs and the baton.
That's right, baby. I got one of those beds that has those bars in it and tie you down, baby.
So that's what the hat came from. One of those costumes.
Well, I like being in charge, you know, a woman in uniform. Just kidding, gosh. Did you guys believe me or something?
Yeah, I completely believe you because we're pretty similar. We both like being in charge.
Anyhow, let's enough shenanigans. Let's talk about Mixin. Let's get serious here. before I get myself arrested. Yeah, by the vaping police. Oh my God, they're coming to get you. Do, 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 do. Anyhow, my recipe. Let's get down to business. Vanilla custard, 4%. Why 4%? Because 4% for me is the comfortable range for a custard. Actually, the maximum range. And I bumped it because I reckon there's plenty of people out there, some people who might mix this, and I wanted them to get flavor. Even though I get flavor, they might not if they're not at 4%. I think it would be fine at 2%. The 4% I'm very comfortable with because I added a little bit of eggnog to it. I added Flavora eggnog to get a little bit of the nutmeg from the eggnog. It happens to pop out there at this point. It's 2 weeks deep, but I can still taste it. It's still, I feel like it'll fade back some with time, and maybe just my nutmeg will show up. But right now I do taste the egginess I do taste the eggnog, but mildly. It depends on the amount of heat I put to my coil where I taste it. I used Flavora cream instead. I was going to use Flavor Art milk, and then I decided, let me not use that one because that's one that not a lot of people will have, and I feel like maybe more people might have the Flavora cream. And I think that they're interchangeable. They have, certain nuances that are a little bit different, but the Flavora cream was enough cream, but it doesn't have a lot of sweetness to it, so it worked to bump that milk note in the milk tart. And what else did I use? The caramel, I intended the caramel to be part of the cookie part of it, but somehow it became like the glue between the cookie and the bakery part. So for my bakery, I chose FA breakfast cereal at a very low percent at 0.10 because if you use too much of it, it'll be too cereally. But at about 0.1 to bump up the FA cookie was perfect for a light, crispy crust, and it gives you a certain amount of crunchy aspect to the recipe without overpowering. I'd say that Flavor Art breakfast cereal at 0.25% is very noticeable as cereal. So at 0.1, for me, it was the perfect in between to make a crust with it. And I used FA cookie to, finish off my crust, and the caramel was supposed to deepen that crust and make it a little bit darker and richer. It does taste 2 parts, but I feel like the caramel is bringing it all together. But it's a pretty tasty vape at 2 weeks. And I feel like the vanilla custard will continue to grow because you know how custards do. They grow and grow and grow, and then they stop. And sometimes they fade back. But I don't have a feeling that's going to happen at this one. What do you guys think? Have you guys looked at my recipe?
I'm looking at it now. What is the breakfast cereal supposed to be?
It's kind of like Flavor Art's version of Cereal 27, but I find it to be deeper than Cereal 27. I think it's stronger. I feel like it's meant to be a honey nut cereal, but it's really subdued on the honey and the nut, but it's a really good cereal. I mean, I can bake that by itself with a little bit of caramel and a little bit of sweetener. So it's a really good cereal. So it's the crunchy part of my outer layer.
Okay. Have you ever had a milk? Well, I don't think any of us had milk tart, right? Like in real life?
No, but from the description, to me, it sounded like a flan sort of, with sitting inside a bowl of crust of some sort. But I did find a couple of sites where it didn't even have the outer layer. It wasn't like in a cookie tart, but our picture did have an outer tart part, so I used that.
Okay.
Did you make yours with a bakery note on the outside?
Kind of, not really. Because I mean, if you look up, and mind you, when you look at the picture, it can be anything. But I knew what it was supposed to be, and I tried to go somewhat closer to that because it's not something I'm familiar with, and I thought it'd be interesting. So when I looked at recipes online, I went with the flatter one, not the one more like what's pictured, which is like a little, like a tart. The one that I was looking at, it kind of looks more like a flat pie, like it's bigger, and you cut it into, you know, your regular triangles, and it looked kind of like a Jello almost. It was gelatinous.
Okay.
I don't know. It's weird, but what I gathered from it is it's like a custard, but extremely milky and a little bit gummy. But I don't know. I'm just trying to guess based on what I read online, which isn't the best way to do it, but I wasn't about to make a milk tart.
And just think about it. If it tastes good, then and it tastes like a tart of some sort and it's milky, it's a milk tart. In
Right.
vaping terms. Not all vaping terms translate exactly to profiles.
No,
Right.
because there's only so much that we can do without texture.
That's
Yeah.
exactly right.
Texture gets lost. And you can have gummy feeling, but what does gummy taste like? You know, what does it actually smell like? And when you vape it, it's a floral kind of aroma. So you're not getting the gummy texture in your mouth. You're getting just a slight aroma of it. So we
That's
can't
true.
really simulate guar gum and and the other
Yeah.
stuff that they use and those kind of things.
Right. Well, the problem with gummy, because I actually wanted to kind of put that in there, is every gummy that I've tried has an inherent fruit note to it. So I
They
definitely
do.
didn't want that because I didn't want it to be a candy. I wanted it to be a bakery of some sort. But really, what I was aiming for was just something that tastes good because I have no idea what a milk tart is supposed to taste like.
Yeah, the picture looks fabulous, but we don't know what it tastes like.
Right.
Who makes milk tarts? Do you know where they originate from? Did you, in any of your reading, did you find out?
I think it was from South America or South Africa, something like that. Let me see. I know it's from, not from the US. Yeah, South African. And I can kind of put the one I was going more towards over there so people can see kind of what I was trying to do. Because that's what I do. If I'm not familiar with a profile and I want to do it, I just Google the recipe of the actual food and try to translate that into vape. It doesn't always work, but I think mine turned out fairly well, especially considering what I used, which I'll get
Is
to.
yours up on the screen yet, Rin?
I didn't know that I was going yet, but I'm sure it can be.
Well, I mean, I wasn't sure you were going up yet, but since we're talking about what you actually,
Might as well go ahead.
you're actually how you looked for it, we'll continue to talk about that, and then we can go over your recipe. When in the recipe that you found, did they use eggs?
I think a light amount, but it wasn't egg heavy. It says that it's a pie of Cape Dutch origin. It translates to milk tart. It's a bit like a custard tart, but with a different consistency. It's luscious, creamy, and the best ones are topped with a sprinkling of cinnamon. But it's a South American dessert.
Okay,
It's
well,
very popular there.
I used nutmeg because it kind of looked like nutmeg to me, but I guess it was cinnamon. I should have done some reading like you did.
Yeah, that is that mine? That looks like mine. That's my recipe that's up right now.
Do you want to go? Well,
Either way, or nope, there you go. Switched it.
technical difficulties in the background.
All right, so for mine, and mind you, mine's been steeping since the 6th. I was trying to be ambitious or overzealous or whatever and mix ahead to the next week, and I accidentally mixed 2 weeks ahead. So it's been sitting for a while.
Which is probably good.
Yeah. I used the Capella vanilla custard, and if anyone's known me for any length of time, I've talked at length about how much I hated that flavor because I used to hate it. Like, I don't know if my taste buds have changed or maybe I just didn't know what I was doing. I don't really know, but I've tried it in a couple recipes recently and I actually didn't mind it. So I decided I was just gonna go for it and use it in this recipe. Very low though, because I didn't want it to be just a straight up custard and I didn't want it to be too eggy. But from what I've gathered, this particular vanilla custard is very like buttery, which I think goes with the milk tart because it is kind of buttery. So I use that kind of as like the base filling along with the one-on-one cream with milk undertone because it's one of my favorite milk flavors. Like I have other milks, but I don't have a lot of experience with them, so I didn't want to go too crazy because I was already doing the Capella custard, which I wasn't really sure about. So yeah, that's kind of like the inner part of it. And then I just put a little bit of vanilla classic in there to bump up the vanilla because again, from what I read, it's very vanilla-y. And then I added a little bit of meringue to add to the sweetness and to hopefully kind of fluff it up and not make it too dense. Because if you look at the picture, it looks kind of loose. Like it's not very thick. Like
Yeah, it kind of looks like pudding, doesn't it?
yeah, like it's definitely, it's not super dense from what the pictures look like to me anyway. But I didn't want it to be super, super thick. And then I just added the cinnamon sugar from Capella, the silver line, because I wanted to try it. That was kind of a risk too, because I hadn't tried it prior to this recipe. I think I used it maybe once before in something else, but ended up well. It's just kind of like the dusting on top, as you can see in the recipes I posted. It has cinnamon on it.
I want to try. I mean, I have the cinnamon sugar. I've not tried it yet. Do you find it to be close to any other cinnamon sugar?
I don't have any other cinnamon sugar. I have cinnamon. It's definitely, to me, more of a bakery cinnamon, which is good because when I'm doing something with, you know, bakeries, I don't want it to be like a red hot or candied cinnamon. I want it to be like the actual spice or whatever. So it's definitely more bakery cinnamon. It's not as heavy as like their cinnamon Danish swirl, which I think is too heavy. This is kind of just a lighter cinnamon, and it does have like some sweetness to it. So I think it's good. I guess you could try it by itself, but I think it's kind of just a weird flavor to try on its own.
Well, I was thinking actually of mixing it in with some of that Flavor Art breakfast cereal. But the thing with cinnamon is I get that metallic note from cinnamon, from all cinnamon. I haven't found one yet. And I think I did that to myself because when I first started vaping and I first started mixing, you know, back in the caveman days, I used to love, you know, cinnamon, red hots, and menthol. So I overdid it way back then, and now it's all I taste. All I taste is like the metallic note of a red hot, even if it doesn't have any in it, or I don't taste it at all. Like I know everybody talks about Flora sweet cinnamon. Is it? What is it? There's cinnamon.
Rich cinnamon.
Rich cinnamon, yeah, and Flavor Art, their cinnamon. I don't know what it is about those two, but they're like potpourri for me. So they're not metallic, but they also don't give me the cinnamon I want.
Have you tried rich cinnamon?
I did, but I only used it like in a tooth drop little
Yeah.
bit because everybody keeps telling me that it's so super potent that I've only added it to already made custards just to try to get a taste for it. And then to me, when I added it to the custard, it gave it like a, I don't know, a floral cinnamon note of some sort.
Never heard of a floral cinnamon, but
I mean, like a potpourri,
potpourri, yeah.
that kind of cinnamon.
Huh.
It just depends on what it has in it. If it has something that's got a slight florally note to it in the cinnamon, because cinnamons usually aren't just straight cinnamon aldehyde or something of that nature. There's many cinnamon notes. So
Have you ever found it to have any floral notes in the rich cinnamon, Jen?
if you take it up too high, for me, it does. It's almost like a floral woody note.
Yes, and
Like
I think
more
I
than-
might be sensitive to it.
If I use it beyond like 3 drops in a 30 mil.
Yeah, I didn't even use it that high. I was just trying to get a taste of the flavor with some vanilla, just to get the general, because I can't vape it by itself because there's no way. I'll get all the side notes and none of what it'll taste like in a recipe. So I try to mix it with vanilla. But going back to Rin's recipe, I have the capped cinnamon sugar because I'm still forever hunting the cinnamon that I can use. I don't have creamy undertones. Is there something else?
Have that?
Look,
You need to get it.
I don't have anything from anymore. Ever since, I mean, do you remember like 5 years ago when they put their pitch fit on where they were like,
Yes.
we don't want anything to do with vaping, blah, 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 blah. And I had
And then
bought,
suddenly they have moonshots.
yeah. And I had bought a crap ton of their stuff. And, you know, there were so many hits and misses that I just gave up on them. And then I was like, I'm never ordering from them again, especially since I sent an email to somebody to ask them. Back then, they didn't even have their informational sheet saying what was in the flavors, and all I wanted to know was what was in there because some of them tasted oily. I was just trying to make sure it didn't have oil in it, and they were like, "Oh, well, are you using this for vapor product? Because we don't support vapor products." And I was like, "You know what? I am never using you guys again." But I guess never is a long.
I think
long
they
time.
actually changed ownership in the last 5 years.
Okay, well, never is a long time, so maybe I need to
Yeah.
get in the shop.
I did the same thing. I went through, I bought like $300 worth of samples from them, and it was so hit and miss. I had maybe 10 flavors out of 120.
If I remember correctly, you and I did that shopping.
It was around the same
time. Yeah.
Creamy milky undertones, Bavarian cream, now whipped cream. I like that one. There's a select few creams that I really liked from them. Even their whole milk is decent. The ones that
I keep hearing it enough that I might order a couple.
Just a few of them. If you want, we can talk about which ones you need to get.
Okay. And then the FA Vanilla Classic in this recipe at 0.25. Can you taste it? Are you sensitive to vanillas?
I didn't want to go too high because the vanilla custard is already vanilla. I just kind of wanted to enhance it a little bit just in case it needed it. But considering it's steeped so long, I don't know if maybe I don't have a lot of experience steeping anymore because typically I don't. But I don't know. I don't see that it's too vanilla-y. So you could probably even go higher. But I would imagine most people are going to have to double this anyway. Because even for me, it is very light. It's a very, very light flavor. But
did the meringue give you a bit of a crusty kind of note there?
I guess I could.
Or you just not? Did you go no crust whatsoever on this?
What was the last part?
Did you go no crust on this whatsoever? Because I don't see anything crusty on here.
Yeah, I wasn't really aiming for much of a crust, like maybe a little bit of a toasting, or like the way that the egg cooks on the outside of something.
The crispiness.
Yeah. So not necessarily a crust.
Got it. Excuse me. I'm always talking junk about Wayne's burping, and now I did it. Every time he does, I'm like, "You pig!" And then now I'm drinking, one of these, and it just came out. Now I'm a girl. I'm not supposed to burp. Right.
Oh yeah, right.
I don't know. Mainly, it just tastes buttery with a hint of cinnamon and a little bit of custard. It's like vanilla. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's good.
I mean, the custard is perfect at 1% for me. When I use Capella's, I mean, 1 or 2% is usually where I use that one because it just has a taste that I can't get rid of without steep. And I know everybody loves that Capella's vanilla custard. It's just something I can't. I don't know how to get rid of that. I don't know what the taste is, but I taste it.
Diacetyl.
I don't know because I love Flavor West butterscotch, and that's loaded down, so it's something else. It's something.
I mean, it's good though, and like I said, I've been a big hater of Capella vanilla custard forever. but I guess in certain circumstances it works, or my tastes have changed. I honestly don't know.
Yeah.
But
What can I substitute that milky undertone for? Do you know anything, JennJarvis? Do you think I can do the Flavora cream?
For creamy, milky undertones?
Yeah.
no, it'd have to be a milk.
Mm,
Be a flavor art milk.
Flavor Arts milk is the closest thing, I think, to it.
Yeah, I have flavor art milk. I'll try that.
Yeah, it has to be a milk.
I will try that. And Jen, you got your recipe up?
As soon as it's up. So I ended up doing 2 recipes this week because I can't decide on anything. So I actually am just testing this now, and this first recipe, the only thing I'm a little unsure of is how the crust is going to actually come out. If it's going to be crusty, because at the moment it's still pretty horchata tasting. It's like a creamy, cinnamony, spiced custard right now. I am not getting anything as far as the Delosi sugar cookie. My Flavora wheat just kind of disappeared. The Cap New York cheesecake, which I was also using more for the creamy and slight graham cracker note to it. And the vanilla wafer is just kind of the vanilla, but it was supposed to add a little bit to the cookie. And the French vanilla from One-on-One also was adding to the custard notes. 1% of flavor custard and a little bit of creamy milky undertones did the cream parts for it. And a little bit of caramel was supposed to just kind of boost that crust flavor, but I'm not getting a ton of crust. So I'm hoping if it steeps out for 2 to 3 weeks, it should work, but it's only been steeping for about 5 days.
Yeah, that's the same thing I did with the caramel. I thought the caramel was going to boost my crust, but instead it folded into my cream. Which you're saying it's just not adding any more to the crust, right?
It's not adding. I'm not like disgusted at this flavor like I have been with some of my other ones. I'm not like, oh, this is gross. I can vape this, but I think it needs to steep for a little bit longer.
Got it. How long has yours been steeping?
I mixed it last Sunday, so I guess it's been steeping for a week.
Yeah, I would say that with these cream heavy ones, we've really
go 2, 3, 4 weeks even.
Yeah, I think mine will be probably done in 4 weeks, but I would say that at week 2, it's vapeable. It's not bad like on day 3, but I'm still getting a lot of that custard note that needs, I don't know. I can't even describe what it is. It's almost like a bitter. I mean, I'm just so weird with some flavors, you know. I get a certain nose smell on the exhale that I just dislike, but it goes away with steep. So,
yeah, usually the weird custard note goes away, but that usually takes a good 2 months for me to fully come out. That's why with Flavora's custard, I can deal with that custard flavor, but it actually doesn't become custardy for me for at least 2 to 3 weeks. So that it is missing a bit of the custard note in here for me.
And you're talking about regular custard from Flavora.
Yeah, just regular custard, not vanilla custard or.
Yeah, I love their regular custard. I do love their regular custard. I didn't use it for this recipe because I felt it needed to be more dense. It needed some more, you know, like you use the cheesecake for that.
Yeah, and the cheesecake definitely boosts the density to it.
Yeah, that's what I used. I debated on using TFA custard or using their Bavarian cream. I chose the vanilla custard because it steeps out well for me, and I figured, you know, people that enjoy or that have regular TFA custard would have something that they can mix with it, because, you know, let's face it, not everybody has Capella's vanilla custard. I don't know why they wouldn't, but not everybody has it, and they'll automatically substitute TFA for Capella or Capella for TFA, and they are 2 totally different flavors, and they have 2 different applications.
And sometimes like this recipe may end up actually being just too vanilla heavy, and it may actually have muted out completely my sugar cookie and the crusty flavors. So again, this is the unfortunate thing with trying to rush these kinds of recipes in a week and mixing them. It may not be that great until 2 to 3 weeks from now. So when I try it again in a couple of weeks, I'll update my recipe. But if the horchata cinnamon is still as strong as it is now, because it's not super strong, but it's really prominent. If it's still that much in about 3 weeks, I'm going to lower that as well. The eggnog may even need to come down a little bit. I find the horchata and the eggnog have different types of spice notes.
Yeah.
So you get the cinnamon with, I think it's the horchata, and you get more of the nutmeggy kind of spice with the eggnog.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And
Okay.
I thought about using eggnog and horchata too, but whenever I've mixed those two, sometimes they fight each other too much. It's like they're bullying each other. They're trying to decide which one's which. Who goes first, you know? But I mean, I've not mixed it with this many creams either.
No. I went a little overboard because I was just sniffing stuff.
Yeah.
I'm just sniffing. I'm like, ooh, that smells good, and that smells good. And I've got a whole bunch of stuff sitting here in front of me. I'm like, why don't I try this? So that's how I ended up with 2 recipes. I did a second version that was lemon and lavender.
Oh, goodness. I ended up with 2 versions too. I don't know if people saw, but I did post a recipe the other day in the groups. I forgot what I called that one, but that was my first recipe I mixed for this.
Yeah, there it is.
Let me see if I can find it, because I went ahead and posted that because that was not my final recipe for a milk tart. It ended up being too custardy, and I was like, well. And I think I used Capella's for that one, and I chose this one because this one was more what I thought a milk tart should taste like. I called it custard squares. And I posted that in a couple of groups, because I was like, well, and for that one I used apple pie from Flavor Art for the crust.
And last week I was like, oh, well, we're all probably going to use apple pie. No, it's got too much fruity notes in it.
Yeah, it did. It definitely had too many fruity notes. Well, actually, it went away because the other one is pretty freaking heavy on the. Oh no, I did use TFA custard. Oh no, I used both. That's why. I used Capella at 2% and TFA at 4%. I was like, custard down. So I was like, no, this is not a milk tart. This is a custard with some crust.
Now, I'm getting the crust in this one. So the Jungle Flavors biscuit may actually be a better choice than Delosi's sugar cookie. But it also may have to do with the meringue. And I think this needs another week or 2 to steep, but it's kind of tasting a bit like Fruit Loops.
Like Fruit Loops?
It's tasting a bit like Fruit Loops.
What do you have in there?
It is the Capella's Lemon Meringue Pie V2. That's giving me Fruit Loops.
Yeah, I mean, the lemon meringue pie is a good cereal base when you add meringue to it.
Without the see, I don't even taste any lavender in this now. After about 5 puffs, I taste no lavender. So I would have to probably bump this lavender up a little bit more to actually taste it.
Look at Rin's kitty over there. Rin, tell Momo to say hi.
Not Momo, but
Oh, that's not Momo?
this is the new one.
How old is the baby?
10 weeks.
10 weeks. Very fluffy.
Hi.
How was the mama? Was the mama a fluffy cat?
She's a stray.
Okay.
I have no idea.
What's her name?
Locket.
Locket?
Like a necklace, like a locket.
Uh-huh.
I know it's kind of weird, but
That's a cute name.
I'm weird. Hi.
Is Momo jealous yet?
Oh, yeah. She faked a limp earlier today. If anyone was watching my live stream, Momo came walking in limping, and things got shut down real quick because I was obviously worried, and had her lay with me for a while. She kept favoring it. I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna let her lay. And I'm like Googling online because people were in chat like saying that she was, you know, putting on a show. So I'm like, can cats fake injuries? And apparently it's not uncommon for dogs or cats to do that for attention. And lo and behold, I'm keeping an eye on her. She walked off a little bit after, and I see her on her little bed. Well, it's my old bed turned vertically. So it's a good 5 feet in the air. So it's like if you can jump up there and jump down from there, I think you're okay.
That's hilarious. Poor baby.
Out of me. I'm like, great. I get a new cat and my old one's falling apart. That's great.
No, he's just jealous.
Yeah, you get a new cat, your old cat gets pissed off at you for a week.
Yeah.
Look
You
at the
may
camera.
find a hairball in your shoe.
Oh God, yeah, that could happen. I can see that happening.
She's been around other cats before. Like when my mom and I lived together, like they got really close. But I mean, it did take time. So I'm hoping they will bond because I've already bonded with her. So
It'll work out.
Oh.
So what else have you guys mixed anything interesting other than this with last week?
No, I haven't mixed anything in the last week.
Momo's actually right down there. Hi. I'm all talking shit and she's right there. I even see you.
She's like, I heard my name.
You want to say hi to the peoples? She's just death glaring the cat or the kitten. Hi. Is your leg miraculously healed? I swear to, because I went to put the cat down and I hear hiss. I'm like, what the hell? Momo was right there. Sorry.
That's all right. That's all right.
But no, I have not mixed a damn thing. I started mixing the single flavor tests earlier, didn't even get through them because that one down there had her little Academy Award performance. A great actress, I'll tell you that. And she kept
But that's
favoring the
good.
same paw too. She didn't even switch it up.
She didn't even switch it up. She knew what she was doing. She was getting that attention going.
She got it.
She said, I got you to put down that other cat, didn't I, Mama?
Yeah, you did.
Well,
Wow.
at least for the first time, I think since I've been doing this show, I've come up with 2 recipes I liked or didn't hate.
Oh,
Or
snap.
didn't hate.
Didn't hate. I didn't go ugh when I tried it.
I was on a mixing binge this week, man. I mean, I was on a mixing binge. I don't know what was wrong with me. I mean, sometimes I go through it where, I mean, and it has nothing to do with the show. I mean, some of the recipes, I pulled up one of the old Andradum recipes. I can't even pronounce it.
Andromeda.
That's it. The blueberry, and I don't like, I hate, I like blueberry, but I don't like pomegranate at all. And I don't typically like them mixed together. But I used to vape that way back in the day, and I was like, well, how can I make this work? I added bourbon to that. That was killer. It was killer. I had to share it. It's strong. It's very strong. I mean, I've got a version going with it with tobaccos now. I mean, now I don't know. I'm on a binge. I'm on a mixing spree.
Yeah, I saw that recipe. I'm missing one flavor, that Capella Harvest Berry.
Yeah, and I would have said that you can replace that for flavor art
Forest fruit.
forest fruit, yeah, but you can't because flavor art forest fruit is a lot brighter. It's more it's more light berry, bright, delicious. It's got some black currant flavor in there, where the Capella one is more raspberry-ish, darker, blueberry, dark. So I mean, it's a totally different flavor. But I mean, I'm sure it wouldn't be bad with forest fruit. It just would be lighter, and it's already pretty sweet because that fig makes it pretty sweet. That's the only thing about it that I found, after a couple of days of vaping it on and on is for me, which most people wouldn't have a problem with that. I mean, most people would be like, "Oh yeah, that's sweet." It got very candy-like because I think that even the bourbon brought out candy in it. I don't know.
think it does sometimes.
I don't know, but it was good. It's good. I've only made a 30 of that, and I'm like, time to. Well, I'm not gonna make another 30 because now I'm gonna make one kind of like that, but with tobacco. I'm gonna use Desert Ship in there.
I forgot to try your grapey recipe that you gave me too last week. I did mix it. It's downstairs. I was just thinking, I should try that now. No, it's downstairs.
Yeah, great. See, I've been on a kick. I don't know what in the heck, but I've been on a dark fruit kick. Great, plum, fig.
Yeah, I've been black currant. That's been my thing. I've been using the flavor art king flavor.
Yeah,
I've just been mixing that into cam blend because right now my taste buds are still kind of wonky. It's getting better though, thankfully.
yeah, and I've been playing with new RDAs, not really new ones, but my old RDAs that I've always built my drippers on single coils because I hate building dual coils. Well, this week I decided, I don't know, I'm on a vaping kick. I decided to build all of them dual coil, 10 wraps each side, so that I'd have a 0.5 still, because that's, I like to vape at 0.5. I don't like it too hot. And I don't like killing my batteries. So I guess that's why I'm on a kick, because I'm trying new coils. Anybody buy any equipment? You get any sales this weekend?
I haven't put my orders in yet. It's called waiting till last minute.
Yeah, I saw E-cig City had a 30% off, and they have, sometimes, I tend to help people that start vaping that are new vapors. They have this Sigali starter kit that's an easy kit for $9.99 and 30% off. No, they didn't let me take the 30% off. It's still $9.99. I could probably buy 4 of those, put them away so that next time somebody needs the kit, I can just, here, I've got this.
Yeah. That's what I really need to do because my daughter and her boyfriend are both vaping now, so I seem to be supplying them too.
Yes, I get that. I bought I don't know if it was from there, but I bought a mod for $29. That is a pretty good one. And for $29, I mean, how can you go wrong when you're giving it to somebody who's going to vape? It's not even for me. They're not even for me. It's just I have to have extras, spares, just in case my husband's breaks, my son's break. I don't want him buying cigarettes. My son had a fit last week. He lost his mod or left it at work or something. Couldn't get it till the next day. He was having a conniption fit. He was about to send him to go get a damn one of those all-in-ones, the penguins. I think they sell those at Walgreens. I almost sent him to Walgreens. I was like, go get a penguin. That'll get you through the night. Actually, I told him, take some cotton, put some strawberry, some of your juice on the cotton and put it in your mouth and use it like dip. For the night. I've had to do that at work.
So I'm not quite as addicted to nicotine anymore. I mean, I like to vape, but I mean, I'm down at 1 milligram, maybe 1.5, 2 if I'm really in an antsy mood.
Yeah, I'm between 3 and 6. I just don't. It depends on the day. If I'm drinking, definitely a 6, and give me a 9 sometimes, because I mean, I don't know, drinking and cigarettes tend to go together, and I never want to smoke another cigarette again. What are you vaping at these days, Ren?
I'm actually backing down to 0 because if I get hired in a hospital, depending on where I go, they have a no nicotine policy. So just in the event that I have to, I'd rather just not have it.
So they don't even allow you, like if you had the patch or anything like that, it's no nicotine.
No, not to my knowledge. So, I mean, how would you test for it besides nicotine?
Yeah, exactly. And that's why I'm saying if maybe they have other nicotine policy, I don't know. But I mean, yeah, working is more important than nicotine. And if that's a good motivation to go to zero, then that's what it is what it is, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it sucks, but I started off with zero nic. So I need to get out of where I am because I'm miserable. So whatever gets me out of there, whatever.
Are you back in school?
Yeah,
Cool.
for phlebotomy.
Got it. That's pretty cool. And I mean, people are going to get sick. That's a job that's not going anywhere.
Yeah, for sure.
You can't get robots to pull fluids.
I mean, you probably eventually could, but I don't think it's anytime soon.
Well, probably, hopefully after your retirement.
Yeah, I'll probably be well gone by then. Before we go, we do have a submitted recipe for the milk tart by one of our viewers, Addie Tooney, which I think most people are familiar with him.
Yeah.
I wanted to mix it because I did notice it a bit ago, but I'm missing butter tart, so I couldn't. I would imagine that's pretty necessary for it. It has a bit of ingredients. He likes to use a ton. But he used biscuit by Inawera at 0.60, butter tart from Wonder Flavors at 0.08, so very low, but from what I recall, that flavor is very potent.
Should I check my stash you send me to see if I have it here?
No, I've never had that flavor.
Okay.
I've never had it because from what I heard of it, I probably wouldn't like it. The cream milky undertone 1.2, creme brulee from Ooh 1.2, Wonder Flavors crepe 0.30, crispy wafer by Wonder Flavors 0.30, croissant by Wonder Flavors 0.30, premium custard by Flavor Art 0.30, and then Flavora vanilla pudding at 0.60.
I only see like two ingredients I don't have out of there. Do you have those, Jen?
I don't have Inawera's biscuit anymore. I don't have the Wonder flavors either. I just haven't bothered with Wonder Flavors because I know so many of them had DAP and sucralose and stuff, and I haven't bothered buying any more of them.
Got it. Well, maybe Addie Tuning can send us a bottle.
He probably would.
We did also have another submission for milk tart from Benoit Bennett, and I will post that recipe over in the comments or in our YouTube chat. Do you guys want it too?
Yeah. Can you?
Yeah, let me put it in the Zoom chat. Paste. There we go. This one has TPA brown sugar, TPA cinnamon sugar cookie. Let's see, brown sugar, they did 0.5%, 1% cinnamon sugar cookie, 1% FA cream fresh, 1% TPA pie crust, 1% Inawera shisha vanilla, 2% TPA vanilla bean gelato, 1% TPA vanilla custard, and 1% Vienna cream from Flavor Art.
I can definitely mix that one.
Yeah, I've got all that too. I don't have, except for shisha vanilla, because I've had to throw all my Inawera stuff out. It was all bad.
I have all of those, so I'll mix that one up to see and let it sit. Did they say how long the steep time is?
They say 5 days. I would say that's probably going to be a month kind of steep for me to even test. Even though it has
it's going to be at least 2 weeks for me.
I know that TPA pie crust needs a month for me to steep. Otherwise, it's got some funky off notes.
Yeah, I can see that for sure.
I don't have that sugar cookie.
The cinnamon sugar cookie is actually quite nice. It's very light. It's reminds me of like Capella's sugar cookie with a bit of cinnamon. It's just kind of a light, just nice cookie. It's not offensive, not spectacular. It's good.
Actually, that's probably the cinnamon bakery note that I can use. That's probably one of the only ones that does not give me the metallic note. So I'm wondering if I can use Capella's sugar cookie and Capella's cinnamon sugar in the same way. I'm gonna make a tester, 1% of each, and I mean like a total of 1% of those two, and then the TFA one to see how close they are. That's a good idea.
What other kind of cinnamon flavors do I have? I don't remember if I have any other cinnamon ones that I like. I'm picky with cinnamon too. Like I like the cinnamon notes in Flavora's apple filling. That has a nice cinnamon note to it, but it's not like offensive or metallic or floral or anything. It's just kind of there with the apple.
Are you
Flavor
Are
Arts.
you able to use Flavor Arts?
Which one?
Their cinnamon?
Yeah.
And it doesn't give you...
I have to play with that one as far as percentage depending on the recipe, because sometimes it just disappears and you don't get any cinnamon, and other times it's like metallic kind of floral cinnamon right there when you push it just to the brink of too high. So you have to find just the right spot where it's not giving you that in what it's mixed with.
Oh God. During Christmas, I tried to make a orange bourbon like a moonshine type thing with cinnamon in it with orange. Oh my God, that was definitely potpourri. That was not working. That was not working. No. Flavor Art cinnamon does not mix well with fruits.
No, for that one, I'd probably use Flavor West.
Okay.
Flavor West cinnamon, however, can be harsh. So you just have to, again, play with the percentage. Because
I can't use any of the Flavor West. That's what I used to mix back in the day was Flavor West cinnamon and Flavor West menthol. Ugh.
Have you tried Real Flavor cinnamon?
No.
Here. It smells like a sweet bakery cinnamon. I actually don't think this one would be too bad. I haven't used it yet, but
yeah, I'll try it.
It smells pretty nice.
Well, do we have anything to shill or anything to talk about for this week?
Well, next week's recipe, we can talk about that one that's sitting up here on the screen.
Let's see.
Well, not sure what you guys see there, but I see cranberries, Cheerios, honey, and peanuts.
Yeah.
Yep.
That looks weird.
She sounds thrilled.
But with that Flavor Art breakfast cereal.
That's what I was thinking. I think I'm going to combine Flavor Arts breakfast cereal and some Delosi cereal base.
Yeah, I'm looking at Flavor
Don't talk about
Art.
it too much. Give all the secrets away.
I mean, we talk about it every week, and then we come up with something completely different. I mean, we end up. I leave this room, and I look at the picture with one idea, and then end up with something completely off in left field.
I mean, if you squint like hard enough, it could be really anything.
If you enlarge it well enough so that you only see a certain part of it, yeah.
Eat tobacco, you know?
Yeah, there you go. It could be peanuts.
Coffee. You want coffee? There's your coffee.
Could be beer nuts.
It could be beer nuts. Those could be beer nuts. Interesting. It could have honey in it.
Yeah, I see the honey drips around the sides and stuff, but you never know what actually is in the bar down below. There could be other stuff in there.
Yeah, it could be hazelnut.
Hazelnut, could be sultanas in there, could be, any sort of gooey stuff at the bottom. So we can
Brown
kind of go,
sugar.
yeah.
Yeah, we can squint.
Maybe all the Rice Krispies fall to the bottom.
Yeah, there you go. Who knows? Maybe there's chocolate in there.
Yeah, some white
in the
chocolate.
middle. Interesting. This recipe could be very interesting at the end of the day. What do you see in it, Rin? Your cat got your attention?
No, Mr. Burgundy. I don't think there's any of that in there.
What did he say? I can't see chat.
He's in the chat. He said it could be some weed in there. No.
Actually, let's see.
We wouldn't know
Let's
unless
see.
we ate them.
Well, I don't know. Maybe. Maybe it was made with wheat butter. Oh, wait. We're on YouTube. We can't talk about that. No, none of that.
We're not vaping that, and we're not actually using it. We're just looking at a picture saying maybe it's in it.
Yeah, that's it. Exactly.
We're not condoning it in any way.
In any way. We just kind of looked really hard and squinted really hard at the picture to see if maybe it was in there.
On that note.
What?
I said on that note.
Mm-hmm. Let's see.
Anything else going on besides my cat being a bitch?
No. I listened to last week's show when I was at the beach, and I did hear that bird that flew over me. That was funny.
Yeah, we were hearing birds and noises and squeaky noises. Like, what is all of that? It's Jen at the beach.
Yeah. I went to the beach yesterday. I was like, I may not do this 2 weeks in a row. I was supposed to be at a cookout today, but then I just bummed out. I mean, I'm such a homebody sometimes.
Totally.
My husband didn't feel like going either, so that was good.
Went and fought the crowds at Walmart today. That was fun.
I've not left the house. I've not left the house. I'll leave tomorrow. I'll go do something tomorrow because I don't work tomorrow. Bankers holidays, while everybody else is at work, I got the house to myself.
I don't work tomorrow either. Thank God.
Oh, you don't?
Nope.
That's good. We got the day to ourselves. Maybe we can talk about our recipe for next week.
Yeah.
Did wheat freeze?
Yeah. A little bit.
So for next week,
am I frozen? Can you guys see me?
I think we're a little laggy on YouTube. Next week we have Christine from Very Vocal Vapors coming on with us. She's going to be talking some advocacy stuff, and we'll go over, are we doing a recipe next week? Because we had Mother's Day off, so we're kind of only at 3 recipes for the month. Are we doing another recipe next week, or are we going to wait and just do our non-recipe week next week?
We can do that. I mean, she's going to be on. Wouldn't it be kind of awkward?
Well, we're going to chat with Christine in the beginning of the show. So we can always do our recipes later if you guys want, but we will be having a guest on next week, and we're going to try to do this a little more often. We're going to bring some other mixers on and some other guests. So we thought we'd discuss some stuff going on.
And maybe we should, maybe what we'll do is we'll have the recipes. Maybe we can have the recipes ready in case we have plenty of time left and we can talk them over. And if not, we'll just move it on.
Yeah.
The following week.
So you guys can look forward to seeing Christine from Beauty and the Vape. That's her YouTube channel, and Very Vocal Vapors. She'll be on next week with us next week, next week. Yeah. So we may have recipes for you. We may not. We don't know.
And if there's anybody you want to see on, let us know and we'll see what we can do.
Yeah.
They don't have to be female. I know it's like a misconception that like the only people we have on here is female. It doesn't have to be just female. It's just a female panel. That's all it is.
Yeah,
Although we still are trying to have Colton come on wearing a dress.
that would be awesome. Can we put that request in? Will Colton wear a dress or a mini skirt at least?
And a wig.
We'll take him in a kilt. All right, guys. Well, I think it's time to wrap it up. Thank you for joining us. Alicia, where's Alicia when I need her? I'm used to opening in. She has to close. Just got the spiel down for the end. Who we got anything to show? You can find me on all the flavors and on ELR as the Juice Fairy. You can find my recipes there. You can have a Facebook group, DIY E-Juice Flavor Addicts. I'm everywhere though, so I'm in all the groups. If you ever have any questions, anything you want to talk about, don't hesitate to tag me. DMs, I don't answer those very often. I do sometimes, but I get a lot of them. So I have 2 different groups of DMs so that I can have a life of my own too. But I'm available a lot. So that's what I have.
And don't forget to check out Jen's oneanddone.com.
One and done flavors.
One and Done Flavors. I'm sorry. She has her whole line of one shots.
Rin is everywhere as RinVapes, right, Rin?
Yeah, pretty much.
Are you in a lot of groups too?
I don't really do the Facebook thing. I'm in stuff, but I don't really do anything in them. I'm not a Facebook person. Nah.
But you're on the Discord though, right?
Yeah, I am in Discord quite frequently. Usually in Wayne's Discord. But
yeah.
And ours.
Yeah. And we're all in Wayne's and in the MIXINVIXENS, so you can find us there too. You'd have to mention us because sometimes we're working and we don't see it till later, but we'll catch up with you.
And you can find my one shots at Wizard Labs. I have Vanilla Rain there, and you can pick up the other EJM shots. Emily has some there as well. E-cig Express, I have Bake Sale, and Chef's Flavors, I have Hazelpotamus and Captivation, which is a tobacco one shot. And that's what I have right now.
I've been meaning to buy that Captivation because I want to try that. And that one is where?
It's at Chef's.
At Chef's. Yeah. Next order I order from Chef's, I'm picking that up.
And a lot of places are having sales right now because of Memorial. Yeah. Chef's is one of them. E-cig, and I think Bull City has
Bull City. Well. Wizard Labs also has, I think, 20% off this weekend.
Yeah, so if you need flavors or what, now would be the time to get them.
Yep.
And I heard that Bull City Vapors also has their shipping policy has changed to where $45 orders ship free or something like that. I don't have the email in front of me, but I did receive an email showing something about their orders. Now, we do want to thank Bull City Vapors for helping us with our flavors every week. And they help us make sure that we have the flavors that we need so that we can create recipes for you guys every week. It doesn't mean that they help us every week, but they're the bomb. They're always there for us. So make sure I shout out Drew, Julie, and the crew over there. Anybody else we need to shout out? Flavora.
Yep, Flavora. Big props to them.
Yeah, big props to them. That's why you see a lot of my recipes didn't used to include a lot of Flavora before, but here recently I've been making sure I include them because I'm still single taster flavoring a lot of their stuff, and it's a lot of stuff. So as I taste it, I always find something. I'm like, oh, this tastes really good, and this, hey, I remember last week I tasted this. I could go with that. So as we go, Flavora really their flavors. I haven't found many I can't work into something.
Yeah, there's not very many that I actually hate. There's a few, but
which is a compliment from us.
Yeah. There's plenty of flavors from every company that I hate, but it's,
Yeah. Like I was primarily a Flavor Art and TFA mixer with some Capella, but
Yep.
most of my mixes are Flavor Art, TFA, and a little bit of Capella. Like from Capella, I've had every single one of them, and there's just some flavors I have to have, and some flavors that are easily replaceable for me with other flavors. You know, so now
and
I have Flavora to the mix. I can
Yeah.
mix some of those.
yeah, I'm vaping mostly Flavor Art and then a little bit of Flavora for my daily kind of vape. I know what I can vape as far as health wise and not wheezing. Flavor Art is pretty much my safest bet.
Yeah, it's
Nothing
my
causes me reactions.
it's my safest bet too. But Flavora has also been they've been pretty decent, man. I've enjoyed some of the flavors that I've tried from them. Really enjoyed some of them. I'm still trying to figure out what the hell to do with them, but you know, there's so many of them that it's hard to mix something with absolutely all of them. But I try to incorporate something every week of theirs.
Yeah, it's not easy to mix with just one company.
No.
Because there's amazing flavors from everybody, so you kind of want to use the best flavor
Yeah.
of that version, and as hard as we try.
Yeah. And then, you know, got to keep in mind the stuff that we between us three, we tend to find those flavor notes that we can't deal with.
Yeah.
So then finding a company that actually makes something that we can vape is a challenge.
And then you have to mix it yourself if you can't. Like, I'm going to mix this one and this one and this one. And hopefully this comes out to be grape jelly.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go. That's a perfect example. Yeah. All right, girls. Well, it was great having you guys. Thank you for watching. Come join us next week. We'll have some advocacy on. We know how much you guys love that, but it's important, and we want to make sure that we include that every once in a while. It's not something we're going to harp on a lot, but it's important to us. We've been around a really long time. Well, all three of us have, and then the other girls have too. So, you know, we've seen some of these people when they were like just starting out. So it's important to include them and to be inclusive, because we don't want vaping to go anywhere. And at the end of the day, I think, you know, as mixers, we'll be all right. We have some things that we'll have to work out, but vaping in general for me is the whole thing. It's about the smokers too, man. It's not just us. So
Yep. Happy Memorial Day.
Happy Memorial Day.
Have a fun long weekend. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.